Hello everyone. Today I will be showing you how to create a C++ DLL that can be used by the C# language. Okay, so let's jump into Visual Studio Code and start coding our lib.h file. So let's create new file and call this shared underscore lib.h. And I'm going to declare if and define shared lib.h, define shared lib.h, include string, include iostream, include C standard lib.h, include C stdio, include C string, include array. I'm going to declare using namespace standard. I'm going to declare if def C++ extern C curly brace. Okay, and I'll explain why we're doing this. What the extern C does, it's affecting the actual linkage. So C++ function when compiled have their names mangled. So this is what makes overloading possible. And we're going to use this extern C here in this H file. And the next thing I want to declare is if def build my DLL. So this is our build option, and in the build option I'm going to define shared lib declare spec DLL export, and I'm going to explain later on why we're using this. Then I'm going to declare else define share lib declare spec DLL import, and then nf. Declare spec is a Microsoft specific attribute that allows you to specify storage class information, and there are two storage attributes here. They are DLL export and DLL import, and these will indicate to the compiler that a function is either imported or exported respectively from a DLL, and hence the reason why we're doing this. Okay, so move on to the next few things. I'm going to go ahead and create the prototype. So I'm going to create void shared lib Stringcat constant char string 1, constant char string 2, and then char new string. So I'm going to create a function that allows me to concatenate two strings. So the C# application will be sending the information to this function, and I'll concatenate the string and then return back to the C# application. Okay, so that hence the reason why we created this function. I'm going to go ahead and create void shared lib string copy char string 1 char string 2, and this function allows us to do a string copy. Okay, and then I'm going to declare int shared lib add int A, int B. This allows us to add two numbers together. Okay, I'm going to create another function called pipe command. So shared lib pipe command constant char string command, right? And I'm going to declare void shared lib say something. So this function will output something, a string or something that you want to send it. So constant char string. Then I'm gonna go ahead and if define C++. I'm gonna go ahead and close the bracket from above, and then nif. Then declare nif. This will be the end of our DLL, as you can see from top to bottom here. Okay, and make sure that we save this. So I'm going to go ahead and Control S to save it. Then we'll talk about the .cpp file that actually implement these 5 functions that we talked about. Okay, so now let's jump into Visual Studio Code and create our .cpp file. So I'm going to click on New File, type in shared lib.cpp. I'm going to go ahead and include shared lib.h that we just created earlier. Then I'm going to go ahead and implement the Stringcat function. So do void Stringcat constant char string 1 constant char string 2 and and then char new string. And I'm gonna go ahead and do string create a string object, convert the char string to an actual C++ string, then do a plus to concatenate. So I'm concatenating 2 strings here, and I'll go ahead and do a string copy of the resulting string to the new string, right? Okay, and then string.c string. Okay, and then and that's it. That should complete our first function that does a Stringcat, right? I'll move on to string copy. So I'm going to do void string copy char string 1 char string 2, and I'm going to go ahead and do a string copy of string 2 to string 1. Okay, and that should complete our implementation there. I'll go ahead and move on to the pipe command. So do void pipe command constant char string command, and I'm gonna go ahead and declare standard array char comma 80 buffer. Okay, I'm gonna create a file pointer pipe equal to p open string command read. So I'm going to basically read from our pipe, and if pipe is not null, then go ahead and if pipe is null, then go ahead and do a standard C error, cannot open pipe for reading. Okay, end line. I'm gonna go ahead and initialize my line count. So I'm gonna go ahead and int c equals 0 while f gets buffer data 80. So I'm gonna allocate 80 characters per buffer per line. Do a pipe not equal to null. Then go ahead and increment our line count. Then do standard cout the actual line the text is in. Then go ahead and create a tab, buffer dot data. Okay, and we'll go ahead and close the pipe by doing a pclose command, pclose of pipe, and that would finish our pipe command function. And the pipe command allow us to basically pass in like a DOS command like dir, or if it's a Unix you can do ls, etc. Okay, then the last piece of code I'm gonna implement, well, the next one will be void say something constant char string, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and do a standard cout I typed string and line. Okay, so this function, all it does is that whatever you pass to it, it will just do a standard out. Very simple. And then the next function is adding two numbers. So int add int a, int b. Then it's pass the resultant, right? So return a plus b. Okay, so that completes our function for add, and everything else here in the shared lib.cpp. And let's save this file by Control S, and then let's go on to the next topic. Okay, so let's go and create our build.bat file. So click on new file, type build.bat. So in this batch file, we're gonna go ahead and create some entries. So g++ -c -d build my DLL shared lib.cpp. So what this does is it's going to look at the build option in our .h file, and it's going to go ahead and compile this module, and we'll create a .o from there. Okay, so the next line we type in g++ -shared -o shared lib.dll share lib.o, which is generated from the first line. Then dash capital W lowercase l comma dash dash out imp lib shared lib.a. Okay, so let's save this file. Okay, so let's jump into a DOS prompt window, and let's list the file that we just created earlier by typing dir. And as you can see here, there's build.bat. Go ahead and type build.bat file to compile to create our DLL. Okay, and as you can see here, we have shared lib.dll that was generated from our build.bat file. Okay, so let's jump into Visual Studio and create a C# application that will use the C++ DLL. So let's go and click on Create New Project and choose Console App using .NET Framework. Click on that, then click on Next, then we should call this something like use CPP DLL from C#, right? Something like that, and go ahead and create. Okay, so I'm gonna go and declare right here using system runtime interrupt service. So I need to declare this so that I can actually use the C++ DLL. So and that's it. I'm going to create a DLL import attribute, and I'm going to locate the DLL. The DLL is actually located in C project shared lib.dll. I'm going to go ahead and use a calling convention equal to calling convention dot C declare. Okay, and this is just basically the first function that I'm calling. So that will be the pipe command. So static extern void pipe command string str. Okay, so that will be the first one I'm going to be creating for this C# application. And so the next one, I'm just going to copy this guy up here, control copy, control V, oops, try that again. So let's just type it in, DLL import C : /project shared lib.dll quote. In this case, I'm gonna do char set equal to char set nc. And for this one, I'm going to be linking to the static, the Stringcat command, right, that I created in the C++ DLL. So static extern void Stringcat, and then string 1. Okay. String 2, then string builder new string, and then go ahead and save it for now. Okay, so now let's continue on to the next function. I'm going to go ahead and copy this line up here, edit, copy, control V, and this is basically for our string copy function. So static extern void string copy, declare string builder string 1, and then string 2. Okay, and that will complete our third function. So our next function will be say something. So we'll just go ahead and use the first declaration here. So copy and Control V and declare static extern void say something. Okay, and then pass in string object. Our next function will be the add function. So the add function will be pretty similar to the previous one. So we're gonna go ahead and do Control V and then type in static extern int add int a int b. Okay, and that completes our DLL import. Now in our main function we just need to call them, right? So for example, I want to call the add function. I'm going to go ahead and declare int c equal to add two numbers like 25 and 25 together, right? I'll go ahead and do a console write line, so I want to know what the value is, right? Then I'll go ahead and declare string builder sb equal to new string builder, and I'm going to call the Stringcat function that we just created up here. So Stringcat involves concatenating string, right? So Stringcat hello, okay, let's say hello world together as one string, right? And my third argument is really a new string, but it's a string builder type, right? So type SB that we created there. Then do console write line and just say string is plus SB to string. So this will be the converting a string builder to an actual string in C#. Okay, then our next call is string copy, right? String copy. So let's say and our first argument in string copy here is string builder, right? So we need to type in string builder SB. Then let's say the dog, right? So we're going to copy the dog string into SB. Then we need to do console write line and string is SB to string. Okay. Okay, so the next function we're going to call is pipe command. So which we create up here. So pipe command, we're going to enter pipe command, and let's say we want to type in dir c colon backslash. So we're just going to want to do a dir. Okay, we pass that command to DOS and I'll print out something. Then the next guy we're going to call is say something, right? So say something requires a string. So say something like how are you, right? So it's going to go ahead and print how are you from the C++ DLL. And I'm going to go ahead and do console reline so that we can pause right there to see our output. So let's save this and let's do a build. Okay, and it works. The build is successful. We're going to go ahead and click on start. and we run into an exception. So why do we run into exception? Okay, so I think I know why. We cannot build this using any CPU. We want to go ahead and create a new configuration, and so under any CPU, we're going to go ahead and click on new and choose x64-bit and then close. Then go ahead and save it again, and let's do a rebuild solution. Now click on start, and we got an exception here. It says name pipe command unable to find pipe command, and for some reason I either mistype it or something. I can't. Okay, so let's go back to the actual DLL that I created earlier. So I must have mistyped it somehow. Okay. So let's look at the pipe command that I created here. It should have been, there should have been 2M. I had only 1M. And let's save it. Then let's check the shared lib.cpp, and there are 2 M's here. Okay, so we need to rebuild our library. So let's open the DOS window and let's build it again. Okay, now let's go back to Visual Studio and save and rebuild our solution. Now click on start, and now it's working. So you can see that we have an output C = 50, string is hello world. That's from our Stringcat command, and the string copy command returns the dog, right, which we had it down here. Okay, and our pipe command, we basically type in dirc:\s and it gives us the output from DOS. Then we said say something, and we pass in how are you, we get how are you back. And so this application, this C# application, is actually using the function available in the C++ DLL, and you can see this as evidence here. It's working. Okay, so thank you for your time to look at this video and learn something and how to use it. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please remember to press like and subscribe if you like this kind of tutorial.